Welcome to the land of ancient Egypt, a civilization that thrived along the banks of the Nile River for over 3,000 years. A land of golden sands, towering pyramids, and monuments that whisper stories of gods, kings, and the mysteries of the afterlife. Ancient Egypt was not just a place. It was a phenomenon. A beacon of human ingenuity, creativity, and resilience that continues to captivate our imagination to this very day. In this journey through time, we will uncover the secrets of this remarkable civilization, from the rise of the first pharaohs to the grand temples dedicated to their gods, from the intricate rituals of mummification to the architectural marvels that defy explanation. This is the story of ancient Egypt, a tale of power, belief, and legacy. Asterisk religion was more than a belief system for the ancient Egyptians. It was their very way of life. Their understanding of the world, their social order, and even their monumental architecture were intricately tied to their spiritual beliefs. At the center of their worldview was a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each embodying the forces of nature, concepts like justice and truth, and the mysteries of the afterlife. One of the most revered gods in Egyptian mythology was Ra, the sun god. Ra was believed to rise each morning in the east, sailing across the sky in his solar barge, bringing light and life to the world. By night, he descended into the underworld, battling darkness and chaos, only to be reborn at dawn. This daily cycle of Ra's journey mirrored the Egyptian belief in life, death, and rebirth. But no story was more central to the Egyptian understanding of the afterlife than that of Osiris, the god of the underworld. Osiris's tragic tale begins with his betrayal and murder by his jealous brother, Set. Yet, through the magical devotion of his wife, Isis, Osiris was resurrected, becoming the lord of the afterlife. This story of death and resurrection inspired the Egyptians' profound belief in the immortality of the soul. Among other gods, there was Anubis, the jackal-headed god of mummification, who guided souls to their judgment, and Mat, the goddess of truth, whose feather determined the purity of a soul's heart. These deities were not distant figures in the heavens. They were present in every aspect of Egyptian life, and their temples were the beating hearts of Egyptian cities. The temples of ancient Egypt were not just places of worship. They were the embodiment of the divine on earth. Standing tall and proud against the desert sands, these temples were designed to honor the gods and serve as their earthly homes. Each temple was a microcosm of the universe with its architecture and layout reflecting the Egyptians' understanding of cosmic order. Take, for example, the Great Temple of Karnak, a sprawling complex dedicated to Amun, the king of the gods. Built over 2,000 years, Karnak was not merely a structure. It was a living testament to the devotion of countless generations. Its colossal columns, adorned with intricate carvings, reached for the sky as if to touch the heavens themselves. Inside these temples, priests performed daily rituals to maintain harmony between the gods and the people. Offerings of food, incense, and music were made to appease the gods, ensuring balance and prosperity. Festivals, such as the Opet Festival, were grand celebrations where statues of the gods were paraded through the streets, uniting the divine and the mortal in a shared experience of joy and reverence. Asterisk for the ancient Egyptians, death was not the end, but a transition to a new beginning. The afterlife was a continuation of life on earth, but only for those who were deemed worthy. This belief in the afterlife shaped their burial practices and led to the development of one of their most fascinating traditions, mummification. The process of mummification was a sacred art. It began with the removal of internal organs, which were carefully preserved in canopic jars. The body was then dried using natron, a natural salt, before being wrapped meticulously in linen. Amulets and charms were placed between the layers of wrappings to protect the soul on its journey. But the journey to the afterlife was fraught with challenges. The deceased had to navigate the treacherous underworld, confronting trials and monsters. At the heart of this journey was the weighing of the heart ceremony. In this ritual, the heart of the deceased was weighed against the feather of Mat, the goddess of truth. If the heart was lighter than the feather, The soul was deemed pure and granted entry into the field of reeds, a paradise where the soul could live eternally. But if the heart was heavy with sin, it was devoured by Ammit, a fearsome creature. Part lion, part crocodile, and part hippopotamus. Thousands of years have passed since the last pharaoh ruled the lands of Egypt. Yet the legacy of this ancient civilization endures. The pyramids of Giza, the temples of Luxor, and the treasures of Tutankhamun continue to awe and inspire. The hieroglyphs, once a mystery, now speak to us, unveiling the stories of a people who dared to dream of eternity. Through their religion, art, and architecture, the ancient Egyptians sought to bridge the gap between the mortal and the divine. They believed in the power of legacy, in leaving behind something that would stand the test of time. And in this, they succeeded. Today, as we explore their ruins and uncover their secrets, we are reminded of the timeless human spirit, the desire to understand our place in the universe and to leave a mark on the sands of time. This is the enduring story of ancient Egypt, a civilization that truly achieved immortality. The pyramids of Egypt stand as eternal sentinels in the desert, monuments to the ingenuity and ambition of one of the most advanced civilizations of the ancient world. These structures, built thousands of years ago, continue to baffle and inspire modern engineers and archaeologists alike. How did the Egyptians construct such massive structures with the technology of their time? How did they ensure their survival against the sands of time? The answers lie in their unparalleled mastery of engineering, mathematics, and sheer determination. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu around 2560 BCE, is the most iconic of these marvels. Originally standing at a height of 146 meters, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. Comprised of over 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, the pyramid was built to serve as Khufu's eternal resting place. Despite centuries of study, the exact methods used to transport and assemble these colossal stones remain a subject of debate. Some theories suggest the use of ramps, while others propose more sophisticated pulley systems. But the pyramids were not merely tombs. They were symbolic structures representing the pharaoh's divine connection to the gods. Their triangular shape was said to mimic the rays of the sun, allowing the deceased pharaoh to ascend to the heavens and join the sun god. Surrounding the pyramids were extensive complexes, including temples, smaller pyramids for queens, and cemeteries for nobles and officials. Together, these sites formed a sacred landscape dedicated to life, death, and the afterlife. Beyond pyramids, Egyptian architecture boasted other feats of grandeur. The temples of Karnak and Luxor, built to honor the gods Menra and Mut, are among the largest religious complexes ever constructed. The hypostyle hall of Karnak, with its forest of 134 colossal columns, was designed to evoke the primeval marsh from which the world was believed to have emerged. At Abu Simbel, the colossal statues of Ramses II carved into the mountainside stand. As a testament to his power and the might of the new kingdom, the Egyptians' mastery of stonework extended to obelisks, towering monoliths that symbolized the sun's rays. These structures, often placed at temple entrances, were carved from single blocks of granite and polished to shine brilliantly under the desert sun. The largest surviving obelisk at Karnak stands at a height of 29 meters and weighs over 300 tons, a feat of engineering that still amazes modern observers. These architectural wonders were more than just symbols of power and faith. They were expressions of the Egyptians' desire for immortality. By building monuments that defied time and nature, they ensured that their legacy would endure for millennia, allowing us to marvel at their ingenuity and ambition even today. At the heart of ancient Egyptian society stood the pharaoh, a figure both mortal and divine. The pharaoh was not merely a ruler, but a living god, chosen to maintain the cosmic order of the universe. To the Egyptians, the pharaoh was the earthly embodiment of Horus, the falcon-headed god of kingship, and upon death he became Osiris, the lord of the afterlife. Throughout Egypt's long history, many pharaohs left indelible marks on their civilization. One of the earliest was Narmer, also known as Menes, who unified Upper and Lower Egypt. Around 3100 BCE, this act of unification was symbolized by the double crown worn by pharaohs, combining the white crown of Upper Egypt with the red crown of Lower Egypt. Narmer's reign marked the beginning of the dynastic period and the establishment of a centralized state. Asterisk, the Old Kingdom, often called the Age of the Pyramids, saw the reign of pharaohs such as Djoser, who commissioned the Step Pyramid at Saqqara, and Khufu, the builder of the Great Pyramid. These rulers oversaw the construction of monumental tombs that reflected their divine status and their belief in the afterlife. In the New Kingdom, Egypt reached the height of its power and influence. Pharaohs such as Hatshepsut, Akhenaten, and Ramses II expanded Egypt's borders, reformed its religion, and left behind architectural wonders that still captivate us. Today, Hatshepsut, one of the few female pharaohs, defied tradition and ruled as king, commissioning magnificent structures such as her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri. Akhenaten, in a bold and controversial move, introduced monotheism by worshipping Aten, the sun disk, and built a new capital at Akhetaten, modern-day Amarna. Perhaps no pharaoh is more famous today than Tutankhamun, the boy king whose tomb was discovered, almost intact by Howard Carter in 1922. Though his reign was short and relatively uneventful, the treasures found in his tomb, including his iconic golden mask, have immortalized him as a symbol of ancient Egypt's splendor. Ramses II, known as Ramses the Great, reigned for 66 years and left a legacy as one of Egypt's most powerful and celebrated rulers. He led military campaigns, signed one of the world's first known peace treaties, and constructed monumental temples, including Abu Simbel. His reign marked the pinnacle of Egypt's imperial power. Asterisk, while the pharaohs and gods dominated the grand narrative of ancient Egypt, the daily lives of its people were equally fascinating. The vast majority of Egyptians were farmers, living in modest mud brick houses along the fertile banks of the Nile. The river was the lifeblood of Egypt, providing water, food, and transportation. Its annual flooding, known as the inundation, deposited nutrient-rich silt on the land, making it ideal for agriculture. The typical Egyptian diet consisted of bread, beer, vegetables, and occasionally fish or meat. Bread was a staple, baked in clay ovens, while beer, brewed from barley, was the drink of choice for rich and poor alike. Clothing was simple but elegant, with linen being the fabric of choice due to its breathability in the hot climate. Men often wore kilts, while women donned long dresses, and both adorned themselves with jewelry made from gold, turquoise, and other precious materials. The Egyptians placed great emphasis on family and community. Children were cherished, and women enjoyed a degree of legal and economic independence that was rare in the ancient world. They could own property, initiate divorce, and engage in business dealings, though their primary role was often within the household. Artisans and craftsmen played a crucial role in Egyptian society, creating the statues, jewelry, and hieroglyphic inscriptions that adorned temples and tombs. These skilled workers lived in villages such as Deir el-Medina, where they enjoyed a relatively comfortable lifestyle compared to farmers. Their work was essential to maintaining the spiritual and cultural fabric of Egyptian society. Asterisk, Egyptians were not just builders of monumental architecture. They were also pioneers in various fields of science and medicine. Their understanding of the natural world was profound, and they made significant contributions that laid the groundwork for future generations. In the realm of medicine, the Egyptians practiced a holistic approach that combined spiritual beliefs with practical treatments. They believed that illness was often caused by supernatural forces or displeasure from the gods. As such, medical practitioners, known as Swanwa, were both healers and priests, invoking divine intervention while also providing physical treatments. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, one of the oldest medical texts in existence, reveals that the Egyptians had a sophisticated understanding of human anatomy and surgery. It contains descriptions of surgical procedures, diagnoses, and treatments for various injuries and ailments. They performed surgeries such as trepanation or drilling holes in the skull to treat head injuries and relieve pressure. Herbal remedies were also an essential part of Egyptian medicine. The Egyptians utilized a variety of plants such as garlic, myrrh, and juniper to create healing potions and poultices. They documented their knowledge in texts that would influence later medical practices in Greece and Rome. In addition to medicine, the Egyptians excelled in mathematics and astronomy. Their ability to measure land and create calendars was crucial for agricultural planning. They developed a calendar based on the lunar cycle, which helped predict the annual flooding of the Nile. Their observations of celestial bodies led to advancements in astronomy, allowing them to align their temples and pyramids with the stars. Mathematics was fundamental to their construction projects, enabling them to calculate areas, volumes, and the proportions of their monumental buildings. The Egyptians used a base 10 numbering system and had knowledge of fractions, which facilitated trade and taxation. Asterisk, the legacy of ancient Egypt is as vast as the desert sands that surround it. Its influence extends far beyond its geographical borders, affecting cultures and civilizations for centuries to come. The art, architecture, and religious beliefs of the Egyptians have inspired countless generations, leaving an indelible mark on human history. In the realm of art, the distinctive styles of Egyptian sculpture and painting have influenced artists from the classical period to the modern era. The use of hierarchical proportions where the size of figures indicates their importance is a technique seen in many cultures. Additionally, the symbolism found in Egyptian art, such as the ankh representing life and the scarab, symbolizing rebirth, continues to resonate in contemporary art and design. Architecturally, the grandeur of the pyramids and temples has inspired builders and architects worldwide. The principles of symmetry, alignment with celestial bodies, and the use of massive stone blocks can be seen in various monumental structures, from classical Greek temples to modern skyscrapers. Egyptian mythology and religious practices have also left a lasting legacy. The concepts of the afterlife and judgment influenced later religions, including Christianity and Islam. The idea of resurrection and eternal life echoed through time, shaping theological discussions and beliefs about the afterlife in many cultures. The fascination with ancient Egypt has not waned. Archaeological discoveries continue to capture the imagination of the world. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, with its unparalleled treasures, reignited global interest in Egyptian history and culture. Museum exhibitions and blockbuster films have further popularized this ancient civilization, ensuring that its stories are told and retold. Today, efforts to preserve Egypt's archaeological sites are more critical than ever. As tourism flourishes, so does the need to protect the fragile remnants of this extraordinary civilization. The continuing exploration of its ruins and the study of its artifacts provide valuable insights into the lives of the Egyptians, reminding us of our shared human heritage. Asterisk, as we conclude our journey through ancient Egypt, we reflect on the timeless echoes of a civilization that has shaped our understanding of the world. From the majestic pyramids that pierce the sky to the intricate hieroglyphs that tell tales of gods and kings, ancient Egypt remains a testament to human creativity and resilience. The Egyptians' quest for immortality, their innovations in science and medicine, and their rich cultural tapestry remind us of the enduring spirit of humanity. In their pursuit of knowledge, beauty, and connection to the divine, they carved a legacy that transcends time and continues to inspire awe and wonder. Ancient Egypt was more than a civilization. It was a dream that dared to reach for the stars. And as we stand before the remnants of their achievements, we are reminded that the stories of the past are not merely history, they are the foundations upon which our present and future are built.